In this video, I'm going to do a little bit of a time decision-making exercise, a little bit of a game, and I want you to follow along, watch along, and find some kind of value out of this video, hopefully improve your decision-making and how exactly you use your time. Now, for the context of this video, I had to have some kind of microwave meal for dinner, and I had to make a decision which I didn't really think that normally I would have to make. It was one of these frozen meals where in one of the pockets was like rice, and the other pocket was some kind of like mince and sauce or some kind of curry, chicken, etc. For me, it was some kind of vegetable thing. I had some like vegetables in one pocket and some like sauce and stuff in the other pocket. It's one of the things where it has like a plastic film over the lid, and then it's got like the two kind of cups and bowls, which are also plastic. And this specific one came from frozen. Normally they come from the fridge, but for my specific one, I had to cook it from frozen. This means that in the microwave, it would have potentially taken 16 minutes to cook from frozen. If I put it straight in the microwave, take the little cardboard wrapper off, put it in the microwave, I put the microwave on for 16 whole minutes, and then it would eventually be cooked. Or I could put it in the oven for 45 minutes, and those were the two options that were given to me inside of like the label on the sort of cooking instructions of the thing. And now, plastics are a weird thing because plastics, when they are heated, especially inside, if you imagine a microwave, the way a microwave works is it heats the thing up by heating the water molecules and making the water molecules, maybe a few other molecules as well, vibrate, and this will mean that the product itself heats up because a lot of the stuff is made out of water. Now, when plastics and stuff are heated up, even in this way, when you like get it out of the microwave after 16 minutes, you can see the condensation off of the plastic lid, the like plastic film that you end up peeling over. Sometimes you have to pierce it like halfway through. The condensation appears here, and the fact that these plastics are heated for 16 minutes is not great because it means microplastics will end up leaching into your food as it starts to get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. That's not good news. Microplastics, for the first time recently-ish, for the last 2 months, have been found inside of the bloodstream of human beings. Previously, they were found inside of the air. Air samples were taken. Microplastics were found in those kind of environments. That meant that we breathe them in and then we breathe them back out again. Now they've been found inside the bloodstream. It's gone one step further. They have kind of infiltrated our circulatory system. That's not good news because this means that certain plastic products that have existed in our environment have actually had this kind of effect on us. Microplastics, some of them can be carcinogenic, some of them can be estrogenic, some of them can be like a few other things. There's probably loads of other categories of things that I've not mentioned because I don't know about them, but microplastics aren't good news, and this is going to be one of the contributors to the fact that we have microplastics inside the bloodstream. I could have done that for 16 minutes, I could have put it in the oven for 45 minutes, I'd have to pierce the film of the thing, put it on a baking tray in the oven for 45 minutes, that ends up being a half an hour difference to what I do in the microwave. It means it's heated a little bit slower. The effects of the microplastics will potentially be lessened by the vigorous heating by the 16-minute microwave. But there was another option which I only considered a couple minutes after making this decision and sort of observing the cooking instructions. And you may not have even thought of this either. While you've been sort of listening along to me, you may have thought of other options. You could have said to not eat it, but personally, I was going to have to eat it because it was my dinner and I needed the calories for the day anyway. And there was another option that I didn't think of, and that was to heat it on a hob. Heat it on a stove, put it in a pan. It was weird because you had to like squeeze the sort of, it's weird because the sauce bit was like squeezed sort of in, it was frozen. I had to like turn the thing upside down and then squeeze it up, put it into a hob and then heat it that way, put a little bit of water in so it doesn't like burn. That worked perfectly fine. I timed it around 25 minutes for the thing to heat up, and that ended up being such a good investment in both my time because that 10 minutes extra that I ended up spending on sort of heating the thing up actually would have probably had a beneficial effect on my health. Less microplastics in my bloodstream for 10 minutes, more time gain. Because it was on the hob, I could let it simmer for parts of it so I could end up like going and doing other things, maybe in the kitchen or in my house, in my room, which I needed to get done at that point in time. But it was an interesting decision that I had to make, and I think that there are many ways that this can be applied. While many people consider time for money and trading time for money and making that optimal an interesting topic, not many people consider the time investment for health. I could have put it in the microwave, ate it in a lessened amount of time. The total time for eating and cooking would have been less if I used the microwave, but that extra 10 minutes that I spent on cooking it in a hob, reducing the amount of microplastics that are actually getting inside of this food, that could have been a really good time investment for my health. That could have meant that down the line, this investment will potentially spread the tiny amount of less microplastics that I have in the bloodstream over the course of my life may have a beneficial effect on my health, my ability to do things, therefore my productivity is better, therefore my social skills, my relationships are better, my health is better, so I can sort of be able to sort of present myself in a better way. Even though it seems like such a dumb thing, 10 minutes more spent on cooking because I used it on a hob instead of a microwave could have potentially had a really good effect on my health, and therefore that means that over the course of my life, that investment seems to be good. I could potentially make so much more money because I spent that 10 minutes extra cooking than if I didn't spend that 10 minutes extra cooking. I could have maybe made somewhat like £20 less over the whole course of my lifetime if I didn't do that, because of the smidgenest effect that it had on my health. But that ends up being like a good time investment in the end. Really, really odd way to think about it if you sort of look at it that way. I personally never thought about this before, but I had to make this decision and I found it really interesting, so I thought I'd sort of relay that information to you. But I'm going to personally use this thinking of investing time for health a lot more in the future, and I hope you can sort of analyze some decisions that you may have to make in the future as well to make your health more optimal, but also use like a tiny bit more time to do that, and that means that that can end up benefiting you so many years down the line throughout the whole of your life. Hope you can use this in many decisions that you have to make in the future. And with that, I recommend subscribing because I love this community of young, chubby people who are willing to improve themselves so much more than they already have, and good luck.